Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. I finally made it on. Anyways, just trying to fix this here. Okay, we are on number 11. Tuesday Thoughts. Today is Tuesday Thoughts. We are on number 11 for gratitude, lesson number 11 for gratitude. This one's going to come from Marcus Aurelius, but before we get there, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It is New Moon Tuesday. Today is the new moon in Cancer, and I'm starting to figure this out. So I keep asking or keep Googling, right? All these different things like, what is the new moon in, which sign, this and that, because some people actually care, okay? But I'm finding that the new moon lands in whatever sign it is currently, and the full moon is the one that kind of drifts and does its own thing. So yeah. You're like, and what's your point? So anyways, because it's a new moon today and tomorrow, I'll be pulling a new moon, or I will be pulling a card from the Moonology deck. However, my however is this. Tomorrow I'm just going to shuffle, but today I pulled the new moon in Cancer because it'll actually be at 2:52 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Good morning, Eileen. But it will be, I guess in California, that's what, about 6:52? We're about 8 hours behind London. So it'll be about 6:52 in the evening here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So Eileen likes my hair, and I have to tell you guys, it's kind of funny because after I shower, I try to shower early enough because I usually, if I want straight hair, I have to shower early enough so that I can straighten it before I go to bed, because it was poofy last night, even after I straightened it. But I straighten it so that it goes flat, but I also train my hair that way. So I was ecstatic that it finally worked today. So anyways, here's the new moon in Cancer. The new moon in Cancer, what it says on the moon phase calendar: your feeling of safety is now related to your home, family, and related activities such as cooking and gardening. So if you like cooking and gardening, go for it. You may be prone to emotional fluctuations. You should learn to forgive and forget in order to avoid depression from thinking too much about things. Your perception of the world can be very subjective. Try to create a certain distance without being bitter. Due to your rich emotional manifestation, you can create a real sense of belonging in the world. So there you go. But new moon in Cancer, you and your loved ones are safe. And then I will get to gratitude lesson number 11. So I'm going to read the whole thing, okay? Because sometimes I don't, but I'm going to read the whole thing. So you and your loved ones are safe. Good morning, older sibling. You and your loved ones are safe. And again, it is the new moon in Cancer. Sorry, I just made this last night on a whim, so I can't stop staring. I know, sorry, I can't stop staring at it. I'm not used to having this creative gene, so it's kind of exciting for me. But again, new moon in Cancer, because we are now in the sign of Cancer. So, and I would just like to point out, in 23 days, it's Comic-Con. 3 weeks and 2 days. So excited. So, I know. I'm all over the place. I know. Good morning, baby sibling. So again, new moon in Cancer. You and your loved ones are safe. There's a new start coming in your private life. Oh, that's the first line. Wow, I'm excited. There's a new start coming in your private life. Something is rising up in connection with the people and places you hold dearest. This can be to do with a member of your family, a flatmate, or moving house. I have no idea. Oh, or moving house, like moving homes. I don't know. Clearly, this was written, or clearly this deck is British. Flatmate, your flatmate. So I'm gonna start calling older sibling that. You're my flatmate. So sorry, I'm not laughing at the language. I actually like it. So I like to adopt new words. So again, this can be to do with a member of your family, a flatmate, or a moving house. If you're hoping to move forward with something special in your private life, this card comes to you as a message that you can do it. If you've been neglecting your family, it's time to reconnect with them. If you've been neglecting yourself, you need to take better care of yourself and nurture yourself more. Nurture yourself more. Sorry, guys. If your insecurity is holding you back, that's something for you to work on now. Doing so could bring your heart's desire. I struggle with insecurity, so I like this because remember, when we're heading towards the full moon, it is a time of manifestation, and that's basically what the new moon is. It's like a reset of sorts. Okay, so you're back at square one. You're being given this opportunity. You're given this opportunity pretty much every month, and your intentions, your prayers, your manifestations. This is the time to do that because the moon will be waxing to the full moon. It's when the full moon, the time between the full moon and the new moon, like from the full moon down to the new moon, is when you let things go. So hopefully, because we talked about this last month when we did the full moon card, hopefully you were able to somehow maybe get an idea of what needs to be let go, or moved towards letting things go and just kind of letting it be. I actually let a lot of things go, which I'm surprised about. But I realize that insecurity is one of the things that holds me back. And insecurity is, for me, in my perception, or my perspective, is a lack of trust. It's a lack of trust in the process. It's a lack of trust in the moment, in the situation. And a lot of times it's a lack of trust in ourselves. We're insecure because we're afraid, what if people don't like us? Who cares? Okay, it's taken me a long time to get to that point. Who cares? Who cares? Not everybody is going to like us. We want that to be the thing. We do. But the right people will be in your life. Okay, so attune to the moon. Make sure you put family first. Additional meanings for this card. Let someone get a bit closer to you. So if you have a wall, it might be time to start bringing that down. In fact, when I was reading a little more about this new moon, it actually said, for people in my sign, I know, that a strong wall would want to go up. And I was like, no, no, because I just want to move forward. I want to live this life to the best of my abilities and take it one moment at a time. But I'm tired of walls. I'm seriously tired of walls. I am done with walls. So, a new cycle is starting for your child or children. I have neither. I have an inner child, so if you don't have children, this could mean an inner child for you. It could mean it's a new cycle. Maybe you have done a lot of introspection. I think I used that right. You've gone inward, you've healed things, and a lot of times people feel like their inner child just should disappear. Well, your inner child is your innocence. It's the fun part of you. It's the whimsical part of you. It's that part we tap into that reminds us that, wow, life can be amazing and fun and glorious if you look at it through the eyes of a child. Most children who have had, nothing really bad happen to them in their lives, and I have to throw that in because everyone's going to say, well, my childhood wasn't like that. If you had a normal-ish childhood, and even if you didn't, I still remember going back and thinking, wow, I was a daydreamer. I still am a daydreamer. But I remember going back and just thinking about all these different things, all these different paths that could be taken. But when we look at life through the eyes of a child, it can be very innocent. And not all children are gifted with the pure innocence of having to, there are children out there who have had to deal with trauma. There are children out there who have had to go through bad things at a very young age. And, my nephews, for instance. And, I know, I don't mean to toot her horn, but this is one of the reasons why I do talk about baby sibling a lot. Because I see how they're growing. And I see how, balanced they can be. In the things they're learning, in the way they look at life, and the things that they enjoy. And, and of course, you're going to start going through that whole phase, right? Where you start hitting puberty and everything starts getting gray and fuzzy and you're just like, you're not sure how to feel, or you got to be cool, or this, that, or the other. But eventually when we get to a place where we remind ourselves that what other people think of us is none of our business, we can tap back into that inner child, and I'm discovering mine. Mine had a lot to deal with when I was growing up, but I'm rediscovering mine, and I'm trying to look at the world differently. I'm trying to look at it, not necessarily with rose-colored glasses on, but with rose-colored glasses on, knowing that there is a reality beyond that prettiness, but that we create a lot of that reality. How we deal with situations is it's a person to person basis. It's really done on a person to person basis, and we're not always going to react the best to situations, but how we react the majority of the time, can really affect how each day turns out. If we get angry about things and we just stay in that place of anger, then it's going to probably be a bad day. But if you wake up great, something bad happens, you're going to be like, okay, I can handle this. I can deal with it. And it may not fix your day. It may not turn it around to feel great and super powerful, but you've given yourself that knowledge that you faced something, that you've, drawn in this sense of, being, the sense of being and saying, okay, you know what? This wasn't the best thing, but wow, look how I handled it. I didn't lose my shit. I didn't go crazy. Maybe the day didn't get super better, but it didn't get worse. Okay. So, it's time to review your goals. Have they changed? My goals are always changing. So, I think that's a good thing. Maybe during every new moon, put in your calendar, review goals, and see if they've changed or not. Meditation will help you banish your insecurities. I will tell you, I know meditation isn't everybody's thing, but it has helped me a lot. The other thing that's helped me a lot is journaling. Okay? Sometimes when we write stuff out, even if you were not a person that likes to journal, a lot of times you can just type it on your computer. If you love to be on the computer and you find that you just kind of get outside of your mind and you just start typing away, that is actually a form, in my opinion, of meditation. Because you're going in, you're going deep, you're just leaving, whatever is coming out through your fingers, from your heart to your fingers. And then you read back over it and you're like, wow, I didn't even realize I was feeling this way. I had a lot of feelings yesterday, and there was something I wanted to write today and I totally forgot what it was. So now I'm going to have to remember that. But I remember it was a very profound thought about trusting and insecurity and just letting go. I've kind of been standing in my own way when it comes to that. In fact, what did I write? I need to be brave enough to trust and courageous enough to change the negative narrative forever. It has never served me, not in a good way. Part of the process is stepping out of the comfort zone and just believing. And then I had to remind myself that I can do this. Now, my journals are very, very personal, but I like to share them from time to time because I know that people do struggle. People have the same struggles as me, and that's a little bit why, or that's a big reason why. That's my big why on why I do this. This is my big why and why I'm very open about the things that I've been through, about the things that I go through, because I know there's a process. There was a tweet yesterday that I saw that says, if I had known this when I was younger, or if I had known this early on in my healing, and I thought, gosh, you know what? There's the what ifs again. And I thought, I wish I knew a lot of this stuff. I wish I knew I could love myself when I was going on this path, when I was first starting on this path. But that's why we share, and that's not for everybody. I realize that. But for me, it's a thing for me. And I have I have the gift of gab, so it actually works out pretty well. But I share that because I want people to know when they start out on their journey that everything that you want to feel good about yourself can be yours. And to really start with that self-love first. I kind of worked backwards, but when you find that self-love, I really think it can, for some people probably, I don't know what the success rate is of it, but I tend to believe that if we start with self-love first, we can get through a lot more things. Because we realize, hey, there are things that are not my fault that I blame myself for. There are things I need to take responsibility for that were my fault. There are behaviors I might need to change. There's healing that needs to happen. There's just all kinds of things. And we're consistently a work in progress. Even if we feel like we're healed, we're always going to be that work in progress. We're always going to be learning something new about ourselves. And that's okay. That's the beautiful part of life, right? So, the last one, spending time near water will bring you peace and answers. I'd like to spend some time in the water. So, the teaching, the new moon in Cancer can be a super emotional time. The moon is all about emotions, and Cancer is a water sign and also very emotional. Saying that the moon is very happy in the sign of Cancer, it's one of her 2 home signs along with Taurus. Ah, I got a Taurus on here too. So whenever you pull it, the card suggests that whatever happens next will be in your favor. It's especially positive for family matters. So if you're struggling with family matters or whatever, maybe you're worried, maybe you just struggle to let, go of the leash of your children. I don't know. Whatever comes to your mind first, whatever pops into your head and says, hey, maybe this, or ooh, maybe I should call my kids, or ooh, maybe I should call my parents, or maybe I should make amends with somebody. Whatever it is, just remember that right now it's going to be a super emotional time. And for people who maybe, I know this is geared a lot towards children, but like I said, if you don't have kids and you might be wondering, well, what's happening? It could be your inner child. Okay, I'm interpreting that and hearing that as it could also be your inner child that needs a little bit of attention. So go in deep, find out what that inner child needs. Find out what it's saying. Ooh, hello, I'm over here. Please see me. We need some fixing here. So I know I need to do that because I've ignored mine for a while. My inner floof. That's what I call it, my inner floof. And I know floof is supposed to be something cute and fuzzy, but I'm just gonna say it. My inner child, I'm pretty sure, is just cute and adorable. So something I never felt when I was a kid. So I'm deciding now that my floof is cute and adorable. So here we are. Tuesday thoughts. Lesson number 11 of gratitude from Marcus Aurelius. Dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them. I have to tell you, yesterday and today, the cards that I did before I did the gratitude just all seem to fit. Dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them. But I like that, dwell on the beauty of life. That's kind of what that card was talking about today. It did talk a lot about family and children, but it was also talking about, let someone get a bit closer to you. A new cycle is starting. Meditation will banish your insecurities. When we dwell on the beauty of life, it's like dwelling on self-love. It's saying to yourself, hey, you know what? I'm good enough and I deserve this. I deserve the wonderful things. I'm worthy of wonderful things happening for me. I'm worthy of, being seen in this world. I'm worthy of being in this world. When we dwell on the beauty of life, a lot of things start to fade away. When we're sitting next to the ocean and we're just listening to the waves and we dwell on that beauty of life, everything seems to fall away. I'm going to use an example of obviously myself, but there was a time when I really had to push through my insecurities because I am a plus size girl currently. I am on a health journey for my heart, but and my heart is fine. I know people worry about that, but my heart is fine. I want it to last a long time. So I know, to protect this, I've got to lose a lot of this. But I would get nervous going to the beach, or I would cover up, or I'd feel very insecure, and it still happens from time to time. But I know that a couple of summers ago, I went to Havasu with my cousins, and hi Victor. Oh, it's my nephew. I love him. Hi Landon, wherever you are, I love you too. But I'm so giddy, I lost my thought. But when we went to Havasu, I was very nervous, and it was with my family. It was just with my family. But, I had bought 2 one-piece bathing suits, and I thought, you know what? Screw it. I want to have fun. I want to just soak in the water for as long as I can. I also found out I'm very buoyant. I float well. But I wanted to overcome my fear of that too, because I had this weird irrational fear of lakes. Not so much just swimming in it, but I have a fear of deep, deep water. Deep, deep water. That's why there was one point when I had thought I really want to swim the English Channel. And I will be honest with you, my irrational fear of the bottom of boats, which is actually a phobia I found out, and deep, deep water was just like, nope. I didn't even care how cold it might have been. It was just like, I can't handle deep, deep water. All right. I don't know why. It's just some weird thing. But I didn't care. I didn't cover up that much. You know, we were on the pontoon or the whatever the hell it was called. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm in my bathing suit. I'd throw a dress on when we go out to eat. I didn't care because I had the support and love of my family. And because of that, when I've gone to the beach since then, I think, you know what? I have to remind myself sometimes because, you see all these people out there sunbathing, all these, just people who you just are worried are going to judge you, who probably don't even give a shit that you're there, to be honest with you. And if they do judge you, who cares? What other people think of you is none of your business. What you do for yourself is what is your business, and that's to dwell on the beauty of life. And so I'll sit there now in my one-piece bathing suit. Sometimes I'll walk to the ocean. I get a little nervous about that because it's like I don't want to be judged. And then I remind myself, I have every right to be here. I have just as much right to be here as anybody else. And I don't get all like attitudey about it. It's a reminder to myself. You have every right to be here. You have every right to be in this world. And you are worthy. And I'll just go and I'll walk into the water and I'll just do my thing. I'll go back, I'll sit there, and then I leave a little bit later. And every time I've left, for every time I've been at the beach, I thought, you know what? I love myself more and more because I'm starting to see myself regardless of my size. I'm not looking at who I look like on the outside anymore. I'm focusing on who I am on the inside. And like I said, for people that judge people from the outside, regardless of size, shape, color, height, width, whatever, when you do that, you might be missing this beautiful soul that's on the inside. This beautiful soul that's on the inside. I'm gonna share a story that I think I've shared before. It was about Comic-Con, but I like it because I feel like this young man that I was talking to really kind of embodied this, and he embodied the dwell on the beauty of life and watch the stars and see yourself running with them. And I think he did, and I learned a lot from him that day. We were sitting in line waiting to go into the big Hall H, and I had this young man who was right in front of us with his caregiver, and he was I'm not sure if he was autistic or just a little slow, but he was also physically disabled. But we were both sitting on he was sitting on a short chair, and she was just, and he starts talking to me. And she, she interjected because, some people just get all like, oh my God, but I thought, okay, let's chit chat. Let's chitty chat. Let's see what we can talk about. And we had the best conversation. But at first she's like, I'm really sorry. Is he bothering you? And he was so cute. He's like, I'm not bothering her. She's answering me. I'm not bothering her. And I said, no, you're fine. He's not bothering me. But I didn't see what other people saw. And other people saw that because she sat there and said, I'm sorry, is he bothering you? Or, so-and-so, leave this nice lady alone. I like that, nice lady. Leave this nice lady alone. But I thought, no, we're fine. And we talked Marvel. We talked Star Wars. We talked Disney. And yes, which is basically all Disney now. But we were talking about, because the X-Men were still owned by a different film or production company at the time, and what was going to happen with that, how they would bring it in. We talked about everything until it was time to get up and go in. Now, in the past, I would have been shy. And my shyness would have probably come off as being very standoffish, which I don't intend it to, but I realize now that that is how it has come off. The insecurities, the trust, the lack of trust. And there were a couple times I didn't understand him, but I had enough to know that he knew what his abilities were. And so when I asked him to repeat it, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He's all, sometimes I start talking so fast that I just kind of fumble my words, and I just, some of it just doesn't make sense. And I'm like, no, it made sense. I just couldn't hear you. But, and so he would repeat it, but he wouldn't get mad. He wouldn't get angry. And I'm telling you guys, I wish I could remember his name. I'm not even sure if we shared names. I think we were just talking. But that's what I'm talking about. He was dwelling on the beauty of life. He just saw somebody who had a, I can't remember which superhero shirt I had on that day. I actually think it was a DC shirt, which is why it was so funny that we were talking about, I think I had a Wonder Woman shirt on. But but it was okay. And I told him, I said, "Is it okay if I talk about Marvel while wearing a DC shirt?" He's like, "Of course." But, I mean, he knew it was a joke, but it was just beautiful. He is such a beautiful soul. And like I said, I wish I'd gotten to know his name, because but it was just one of those moments that stick with you, that reminds you that when you let down your walls, especially during this new moon talks about putting up strong walls. Just tear them down, because you don't know what you're missing. Comic-Con is a place for a bunch of us nerds and geeks to get together, and some people just come because they want to see their favorite people on panels or this, that, or the other. But you just, 99% of the time, or I would say 99% of the people, you'll just talk to. You'll just sit there. You make temporary friends, especially when you're sitting in line waiting to go in, because you're shifting in all different directions. And sometimes you're able to actually calm people down, which I hate that when people calm down, but you're able to kind of just remove the anxiety from people because you've had this experience. And like I said, I'm very, very grateful I had that. In fact, I'm glad I remembered that, because of this young man, I am going to make an extra effort today to dwell on the beauty of life, to stop seeing what's not working in my life, and to start focusing on what is. And maybe that's exactly what I needed. Maybe that's the kick in the pants I needed, was to remember that, and to remind myself that, you know what, if this person can enjoy this much life and be less able-bodied than I am, I should really, really appreciate what I have. I should really, and we all should. I know we think we appreciate everything that we go through, but sometimes I think we forget, until we see other people. And not once did I have pity for him, because that's not what he wanted. He just wanted someone to talk to. And he was very clear on the fact that he's all, "I really like my caregiver so-and-so, but she didn't know anything about this." And she just started laughing. So her and my cousin that I was with, they started talking, just talking about random girl stuff. I know, random girl stuff. But, well, he and I talked. And we talked for a good hour before our line finally moved and we were able to go in. In which case we actually got separated. But it was, I don't know, I'm not feeling teary emotional, but I'm feeling emotional in the fact that this is something that happened several years ago. And really right now I'm understanding the message through it. And it is, dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them. He saw himself running with them. He was very outgoing, very personable, very chatty in a good way. He didn't interrupt when you're talking to, he may have disagreed. You could see his face like, "Oh," and then I would just stop and say, what? But we talked. And the funny thing is I think we both learned a lot from each other. But most of it was just opinions. And it felt good to have that conversation. It felt good to just, sit down and have somebody trust me enough to just have this long conversation. Because some people, we all hear things and we all see things, but we're afraid to interject, right? But, when you're at conventions like that and you're in line, a lot of times you'll just be like, "Oh, yeah." And then somehow you end up in the conversation. And then that's how you make temporary new friends, or new temporary friends. But I guess I'm using him as an example because I really think he embodied this quote that Marcus Aurelius gave. I really think he embodied the very spirit of dwell on the beauty of life and watch the stars and see yourself running with them, which means shoot for the stars, or what did they say? Shoot for the moon, and even if you don't hit it, you'll fall amongst the stars. Or I don't remember exactly how that quote goes, but I'm sure older sibling has it somewhere locked in the back of her head. But and I mean that in a good way, because she always seems to come up with the cliches for me on the show. But I think this is also the perfect lesson of gratitude to go into tomorrow's self-care with. We forget to love ourselves a lot of times. We forget to see ourselves. We forget to take care of ourselves. We forget to do a lot of things. And one of the things we need to do is start tearing down these walls. It can be scary. It is very scary, But when we do that, it opens up a whole new vision, a whole new visual of what life can be like. It opens up this whole new visual of, what we're capable of, what we can do in life, how much we actually know. When I was talking to him, I'll be honest with you, I was surprised that I knew as much as I did. I was like, oh God, he's going to start talking to me and I'm just going to look like an idiot. But he never made me feel stupid. He never made me feel like an idiot. We just talked. And like I said, we shared opinions. We didn't agree on everything. We did not agree on everything. But we just were like, okay, well, I get where you're coming from. But, and I think that's sometimes what we forget to do. We just forget to love ourselves. We forget to dwell on the beauty of life. So if you're struggling with that, if you're feeling like, you just have so many walls up, start tearing them down. Start living your life. Maybe it won't happen like that. But focus on the good things. There you go. Shoot for the stars, but aim for the moon. Thank you, Eileen. So I love that. I actually love that. Shoot for the stars, but aim for the moon. Thank you, Eileen, very, very much for coming up with that. And that's true. That's true. So, again, dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them. When you discover your self-love, it is going to help, and you really, truly embrace that self-love. It is going to help you tear down those walls. It is going to help you trust so you can tear down those walls of insecurity as well. Okay? So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. As always, tomorrow will be Self-Care Wednesday. Gratitude lesson number 12 will be on Thursday. Things to think on Thursday. So, but tomorrow is Self-Care Wednesday. We missed Self-Care Wednesday last week. On Self-Care Wednesday, while we're doing the gratitude lessons, I do actually go back through 10 and 11 for those that maybe didn't catch the show. So, we'll start with the Moonology, because tomorrow will be the last phase of the new moon, and then we'll move right into the self-care. We'll start with the self-care ritual deck. It's been a while since I've seen that one. I missed that deck. So again, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you back here tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's California time. On Facebook Live, it is public. Anybody can watch under Shelly Marie Lucas, or you can find me on YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas. And if you follow me on Twitter, it'll probably end up there anyways. But also, it's also on TikTok under the Aloha Perspective. I do the really short version, the really short version of this. So if you miss any of these gratitudes, you can go there. And again, I think it's under either my name or the Aloha Perspective. I think it's under the Aloha Perspective. So, and you can see the short version. You can just say like, yeah, I don't want to hear you yammering and all your stories. So you can go for the condensed version. All right. So again, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you tomorrow.